AllBall TV.
They scared, but I'm not.
They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.
A 1-2. A 1-2. A 1-2. I got this homemade coffee. In the building, baby. Yeah. Y'all know who this is, man. And the gods have brought us upon here today. Game 6. Kayla Banks. I'm terrified, man. I was scared. I'm scared, but I keep not gonna lie to y'all, man. Do or die time, correct. King's Speech. It's good. Kayla, I don't want to assume, but we have specific shout outs for the lovely ladies of Knicks Rehab, the lovely ladies of AllBall TV. We give y'all specific, beautiful, and lovely, the magnificent shout outs. Want to make sure that we're on the same page. Shout out to you anyway, regardless. I'm sipping on some homemade coffee. I shall not give away the label or la marca, as we say in DR. I'm a New Yorker too, baby. Kayla Banks has confirmed that she deserves a beautiful and lovely, magnificent shout out. You kidding me? People don't know how hard it is to do this thing by yourself. King Speech, you know, you turn that camera on, turn the mic on, talking to yourself is crazy. So that's why when you see the comments, you get a little less lonely out here, man. What's my guy? It'll get lonely. Who the R. Kelly copy off of? Oh. You didn't know I could do that. Oh. We in the mix, baby. Game 6. You kidding me? King Speech. The key is taking a breath. Because you see Flea up here. He's a maniac. And AllBall tries to throw the... He's like this. He's looking in the glove. AllBall looks Dominican. He's not Dominican, but he throws like a Dominican pitcher. He's like this. Nah. Then he throws the... Try to throw the curveball at the plate. And you go... Nah, man. But King Speech, always take a breath, especially when you got Flea in the mix, because he's going to try to throw the maniac fastball. Flea throws the brush back pitch. AllBall's the finesse pitcher. Flea's the power brush back dude. James Whitfield's going on. Do you mind if I call you Jim? I think you do. Jim Whitfield sounds cool too. Jim Whitfield sounds like a really gangster. Danny Berry, what's going on? No strays. I see you show up more consistently ever since the evergreen has gotten cleaned up out of here, my brother. I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. My bad. He says, I hate Jim. And I could tell in your tone you said, I hate Jim, Fabian. Let's get back to James. Kayla, we got this. No matter what, we got this. No strays. Only on the brink of death can you feel almost alive. Enjoy the last stand at the Alamo. Is that what you were telling yourself before Game 6? When we waxed y'all off the planet, no strays? Good luck in rehab to your avatar. Take a look at his avatar, guys. Right there. Right there. You see the avatar? Good luck in rehab. Your man looking for his oxygen tank. Little bit of Knicks rehab. Knicks rehab, y'all. Even though I don't have the glasses on, they're here. Not putting them on just yet. Want to get into this game. Let's get into this game. All year long, his entire Knicks tenure, Tom Thibodeau, we've been talking about just arguing about just being a great coach if he's the right coach. I think that's always been the argument. Is he the right coach? Is he great? Is he this? Is he that? I didn't think Cat was the right choice of a player to make up for Isaiah Hartenstein, Dante, and Julius Randle, but I've been proven wrong. And AllBall, he's not on the screen. He ain't got to hear this. But he was right. But because my question initially when we made the trade was, yo, listen, okay, fine, we made the trade. I can accept it. But now, do we want Tom Thibodeau to coach this team? Is that what we're ready for? Because if we are, I don't expect the championship out of it. And we are on the brink of 2 games going to this championship. And here's the thing. For me, the minutes thing has always been just misconstrued because of social media and because now you see just fans in general going on social media, Twitter, Facebook, whatever you do, Instagram specifically, it's hard to go back and forth and have this kind of dialogue. This, you could never replace speech, right? Our form of communicating in real life. Like, how long did it take us to actually speak a word in the existence of human beings? And then now we're reverting back to hieroglyphics through a digital screen. We don't even know what we're talking about. We send emojis. We send all kinds of stuff, memes of other people to express how we feel. No, we can do it ourselves, right? And I'm trying to do that now. So what got lost with the Thibodeau thing in the minutes is that forget about playing them too many minutes. It's who are you playing for too many minutes along with whom, right? And in this series, it's beyond the parent. It's gone beyond the parent. The first 2 games, let's get into that real quick. Because I'd rather pull it up. To me, it's easier on Basketball Reference. Now search for it. I'll pull it up while it's on screen so that we're not. So we do this together. I want to do this together. New York Knicks history. Where do I go to the schedule? Boston regular season. Here comes the playoffs, right? Here comes the box score. Let's go to game 1 of the Pacers and Knicks, where we lost 138-135. Another, as heartbreaking as it is for us to say, look who's in the building. Look who's in the building in the janitor's closet, shooting messages out like a kite. Like he locked up.
Big Flea, never the little one.
Never the little one, y'all. How do I get rid of this? Show them ads on my screen. Get out of here. Anyway, back to the task at hand. 138-135. We were on the losing end, the bitter end of this classic game. At the end of the day, it's a classic game in the history of Knicks versus Pacers. We added that. Let's not forget that. That's what Tom Thibodeau and the New York Knicks tenure has included along with this. A classic game. 138-135. We lost this game. And you can see here, Without even looking any further, that's 10 guys. I can see it because it's 5 here and five starters. So it's 5 bench players and 5 starters for the Pacers in game 1. The bench players, 21 minutes, 19, 14, 12, and 7 minutes for Ben Shepherd, who has a stupid-ass mustache. What the hell is going on with you, bro? Are you getting into porn? What are you doing? Are you having OnlyFans? I don't even want to know the answer to that question. But I digress. The point is, you got 5 guys with 7+ minutes coming off the bench. This is game 1. For the Knicks, we had a total of 9 guys come off the bench. But as you can see here, it's our normal. It was the starting lineup back then of Bridges, Hart, OG Anunoby, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Jalen Brunson. Game 1's bench guys included Deuce McBride, 25 minutes, Mitchell Robinson, 20 minutes. And Deuce had a plus-minus of +12. Campaign had a plus-minus of +5. We don't care. Mikal Bridges had a plus-minus of -15. OG had a -12. Brunson at a -8. Josh Hart at a -4. Karl-Anthony Towns is at a +9. But you can see that all has to do with that's when Brunson came back in the game, and none of us liked it. None of us liked it. Josh Hart playing 44 minutes. Bridges, 46 minutes. OG Anunoby, 41 minutes. Right? Pay attention to that. And, of course, Deuce and Mitch, 20 minutes apiece, 25 for Deuce McBride. Let's go to the next game. Excuse me, Basketball Reference. Watch your mouth. Stop showing me ads I don't want to see. 114-109 loss to the Pacers. Again, winnable game because it was close. But here we go again. The Pacers. How many guys off the bench? You can see off the rip, 6, without even counting, because you can see the boop, boop, boop. You play shapes. Boop, that's 5. This is 5. And nobody plays over 40 minutes. And Nembhard with 36. Obi Toppin with 19. McConnell, Ben Shepherd, Mathurin, Tony Bradley, and Thomas Bryant. Jesus Christ. It's a total of 11 players. In the first game, did Bryant play? One of those guys didn't play game 1. Tony Bradley did not play in game 1. Obviously, he starts to play in game 2, as you can see here, right? Either way, it's 6 guys, and you got Tony Bradley and Thomas Bryant coming in for Miles Turner. You got 3 guys rotating in the front court for the Pacers, and that's 11 guys in total that had minutes. Because it wasn't like Thomas Bryant had 4 minutes of garbage time. I thought he was spelling people because the game was close to the end. The Knicks, scroll down to them, 8 guys again that played. 45 minutes for Mikal Bridges, 38 for Jalen Brunson, OG with 35, and Josh Hart and Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, I think he was benched in that fourth quarter, which was still ridiculous. -20 plus minus. It was stupid. It was like we look at it and we go, you pay him $60 million, bro. I just seen a good tweet from I forgot who Draymond Green made a great point, which I want Julius Randle to eventually answer. Draymond Green felt like you can't bench Julius Randle in game 5 or whatever it is because they don't have that equity as a team. Obviously, Flea of AllBall TV would be better to, answer that question. But I thought it was an interesting point. If Julius Randle gets benched in game 4 or 5, whatever it was, it had to be 4 because they lost 4-1 to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He missed a lot of games this year already. Where did he build Chris Finch, the coach for the Timberwolves? Where did he build that confidence with Julius Randle to be able to do that? Did that affect Julius Randle? Draymond says it does. Obviously, Karl-Anthony Towns has I don't think he let that bother him, which is a great part of this team that nobody talks about. Is we still have that Nova Knicks foundation, and it spills over in terms of trust and chemistry with the team, especially off the court. On the court is a different story. You played 8 guys in this game again. Campaign was so awful that we just couldn't believe he even played 9 minutes. But this was the breaking point for Tibbs. 45 minutes for Mikal Bridges. Jalen Brunson with 38, Josh Hart with 28. So he didn't get as many, but we're seeing it and we're going, bro, why are you playing 7 and 8 guys? They're playing 11. You see the game that they're playing. How many minutes did they play? Nobody played 40 minutes for the Pacers. This had to have been brought up with the Knicks in practice, whatever. But they spoke about it on the coaching staff, as a team, as a record label, and as a motherfucking crew. Game 3, obviously, the Knicks win 106-100. And the Knicks here, oh, well, what do you know? Nobody plays 40 minutes. OG and McHale basically played 36 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson cracked 32 minutes, the most, and that's Karl-Anthony Towns pretty much. That was a huge Mitchell Robinson game, 6 points, but he was going bananas, just doing Mitchell Robinson tings. I think he was going all over the court at that point, just like the Celtics. But off the bench, DeLon Wright and Shamet make an appearance. Josh Hart gets benched. Excuse me. How did I look that over? Why is it a big Mitchell Robinson game? Duh. That's when he started Mitchell Robinson in place of Josh Hart. So Josh Hart gets benched, still plays 34 minutes. It's a lot of minutes, which I don't mind, again, if you stagger them. I'll get back to that in a second. DeLon Wright, Landry Shamet, they get into the mix. Plus minus of plus 12 for Landry Shamet, plus 2 for DeLon Wright, and plus 7 for Deuce McBride, who only played 15 minutes. Still kind of weird. Maybe he saw that, that was more acceptable for whatever reason. But either way, this was a turning point for the Knicks. We know this. And you know this, man. Hold up. The beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant, magnificent La Turia. I wasn't going to go I couldn't do it to Flea levels. He used to be in the choir. He revealed, in case you forgot, guys. And I've been drinking iced coffee. I ain't drinking tea. I tried, though. But obviously, just major. This is all major. Forget about the point total. Yeah, we won. But 9 guys off the bench. And this is deliberate. 11 minutes for Shamet, 13 minutes for DeLon Wright, 15 minutes for Deuce McBride. And you staggered these guys pretty well. Game 4. The Knicks lose, of course. Just a blowout game. We were all beyond frustrated. And this was, again, in Indiana. Precious Achiuwa came into the game finally. So we have a 9-man rotation now in game 4. 39 minutes for Karl-Anthony Towns, 39 for OG, 37 for Karl-Anthony Towns. And, you're not going to get a lot of plus minus with this. But was this the game that? No. Yeah, this was the game Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. We didn't see them playing well. We didn't care about Brunson's 31 points. It was more or less, that's game 4. We were arguing about whether Brunson was hogging the ball or not. Right. And Indiana started the game off. They kept that pace going, and we never shook up their pace. We never kept DeLon Wright 9 minutes, Landry Shamet 11 minutes. Tibbs loses confidence with that lineup. Precious Achiuwa 2 minutes. We got the first Precious Achiuwa sighting in the game. Again, we go back to game 3. DeLon Wright 13 minutes, 11 minutes of Landry Shamet. Now, granted, it's DeLon Wright and Landry Shamet. How many teams have they been on? Like, come on now. DeLon Wright has been on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams. And Shamet's been on the same amount of teams, damn near, right? Let's go. Let's go with the LeBron count. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. His 6th team in the NBA, Landry Shamet, right? So we get it. These guys are going to be on the move. They're not going to be, they might not even be here next year. But while they are here, we traded for DeLon Wright. We traded Jericho Sims, who Flea will gladly tell you, hey, man, enough is enough with these shenanigans. We're done with Jericho Sims. Enough is enough. Got rid of him and brought in DeLon Wright, and you signed Landry Shamet and campaign in the offseason. Well, I know me and Flea were very vocal about, like, campaign. Landry Shamet, that's our 7th and 8th guys off the bench. Campaign, he had some flares. if Deuce gets in foul trouble, Jalen Brunson gets in foul trouble, you know, I was trying to find a way to put campaign in the game. It's not happening, bro. No. He's way, excuse me. We already are having a tough time dealing with Tibbs trying to figure out how to stagger Josh Hart's minutes, right? Like, and Josh Hart is just an energy guy. I spoke to his skill set in the last Knicks rehab. He's not going to go out there, get some footwork going, settle into an offensive rhythm, and we got a go-to shot for Josh Hart. He's not going to be a point of attack on defense. So, excuse me, he's straight crash out guy, right? And it's hard for Tibbs to get his guy who he represents. He's the logo, the avatar for Tibbs' effort, right? And it's hard for him to take him out of the game because he wants his logo on that court at all times. But we're already dealing with that as fans. It's hard to deal with that and then have campaign go in there and go bananas. Go bananas. And he's going to go crazy and he might turn the ball over. He's way too much of a liability when he's doing bad because we don't know he's going to do bad. And we're even worse, he tries to shoot the ball from the logo. He's out of his mind. So no campaign. I would almost rather see Tyler Kolek right now. And even then, I don't want to see Tyler Kolek. We've seen him. I don't think he's ready for he's not NBA ready when I saw him, and I don't believe he's NBA playoff ready. But again, we weren't mad at the 10-man rotation here with Tibbs. It was more or less upset about, yo, Brunson didn't share the ball enough according to AllBall and Fleet. I disagree. He ended up with 31 points and 5 assists. He started off that first quarter with 13 points and 3 assists. So he was going crazy. That's when Karl-Anthony Towns got the 2 fouls early on. He was benched, and he started doing his thing in the second quarter and scored 10 points. And they went crazy. And I've forgotten that game that they ended up at halftime, I believe, 50-50. It was very close, maybe 52-48. But it was very close, and we were on a run in the second quarter with Karl-Anthony Towns. We almost looked like the better version of ourselves with Karl-Anthony Towns in that game. And it was just a disaster to end it. It ruined a lot of our hopes as fans. But then, of course, game 5, just a monster game. A monster game. The Pacers, they're sticking with their rotation, and they had to go even deeper in their bench. Come on. Come on, man. Come on, man. What the hell is a Johnny Furphy, man? This looks like a made-up player from NBA 2K. Johnny Furphy? You got to get your last name changed, man. Oh, he's from Australia. Shout out to RP. I'm sorry. I'm not making fun of you again. I'm Australian dudes. I'm not playing with them. Bad enough he's 6'8". If I had a chance against him, he will punt my face across the street. Johnny Furphy, I humbly apologize. I'm not playing with you. In New York, we go to jail for them having hammers on us. I'm not going to war with you, Johnny Furphy. Your name is still hilarious, though. So, Rick Carlisle still have to go 1, 2. How is this? 5, 12 guys, but it's really 11. You can tell Carlisle has an 11-man rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He went to a 12-man rotation. Who did he add here? Jarris Walker? Who did this punk-ass Carlisle add that I didn't even notice in the first couple of games? Yeah, Jarris Walker. Jarris Walker got in the game because they were getting flamed up. He said, fuck it, Jarris. It's your time, man. Go get some playoff minutes. He was done. 13 minutes. They were getting flamed out there. And with Carlisle, benched everybody by the second or third, with 2 or 3 minutes left. I'm sorry. I didn't even show you Johnny Furphy. I was talking all that shit. And I didn't even show you Johnny Furphy. Who I still apologize to, by the way. I'm not gonna. I don't take my apology back, Johnny Furphy. I humbly apologize to you, my brother. But I digress. Tibbs stuck with the lineup, right? We saw pressures for 5 minutes now. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. DeLon Wright, 10 minutes. Landry Shamet, 14 minutes. You see Josh Hart still getting his 34 minutes. Mitchell Robinson didn't play the fourth quarter. I thought he should have played more minutes regardless. If you stagger his minutes, look, 19 minutes. Again, Mitchell Robinson cannot play 30 minutes. He has to play them anywhere between 19 and 25 minutes. That's just who he is. That's why if anybody offers him $30, $40 million, you got to let him go, right? Hartenstein is different. He's in shape, but you even see OKC, they smarten up and they start the second half. I've seen 2 or 3 games this postseason where OKC will start Alex Caruso in the second half because they know for Isaiah Hartenstein, because they know, matchups are matchups. And we saw a lot of that last season with the Knicks versus the 76ers. And I didn't like how we were coaching against Nick Nurse and the Philadelphia 76ers. Mitchell Robinson could have had his 19, 20 minutes. Ochua should have played more. And OG, they all could have been rotating on Joel Embiid because he's hobbled. With the Pacers, nobody's really hurt that we know of. And it's all about rotating these guys. And I don't want to see a masterful job because I think the Josh Hart minutes he has to watch. He doesn't have to play 34 minutes. Josh Hart, anywhere between 28, 32 minutes, he's going to go so crazy. He's going to go so crazy because, again, he's not a starter and he's not a real six-man that we're used to being coming off the bench, a spark plug like, Jamal Crawford, who'll get his 25, 30 minutes. He's going to be a score out of nowhere and score you 20 straight points. Josh Hart is more about momentum swings. He ends momentum. He can end defensive possessions by grabbing that rebound. He extends offensive possessions by grabbing the offensive rebound. So you want to optimize that between 28 and 32 minutes. Karl-Anthony Towns with a great game. Again, it's not gonna show up on a box score 24 and 13. It wasn't about that. It was more or less like just being aggressive top of the key. I got Siakam on me. Watch this. Siakam, how many fouls did he finish with? Because this wasn't the game that he fouled out in. Then he fouled out in game 4, which we lost. Siakam ended up with, not Siakam, I'm sorry, Miles Turner ends up with 3 personal fouls. 3 personal fouls. And maybe because he didn't get 24 minutes. How many minutes did he play before that? Miles Turner, 33 minutes, right? 33 minutes. This other game, game 3, 33 minutes. Miles Turner, 32 minutes. So you see, they want Siakam to play. They want, Miles Turner to play. He needs to play 30 minutes. Mitchell Robinson is going to play against him and whoever their first guy off the bench is on their front court. He's the guy that can get them in foul trouble. Those are the things you have to strategize for the Knicks. Because to me, speaking of, substitutions and foul trouble, if you start this game off like we normally do, right? And this is when me and Flea go back and forth, and we really fucking hate this, right? We hate the fact that we're both bulls on this side of this boundary. But yo, Tommy, what's going on, baby? Tommy Maggs in the building, my man. Game 6 is coming up. And if you are starting the game off, same thing, right? Same starting lineup's going to be Mitchell Robinson now, Karl-Anthony Towns, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Jalen Brunson. All right, cool. The one thing you're watching out for, all right, how is Brunson playing? Because what we didn't really talk about last game, and we kind of did, but we skipped over it, was that level of, it's not just being comfortable. Jalen Brunson was unshakable. There was a couple of plays where he was pointing at the ref for the call, but he kept it pushing. He wasn't letting any noise affect what he was going to do. He did not care. And it felt like, and hopefully this is confirmed tonight, it felt like Jalen Brunson was like, all right. There's no talking. I'm in the zone. There's no time for this kind of substitution. Forget the game plan. I know what to do. I know what has to be done. And we've heard him over and over again throughout the playoffs make comments. I got to play smarter. Like I said before, I got to play smarter. If Thibodeau sees that Jalen Brunson continues to take the same approach that he took the last 2 games to start the games off, the last 2 playoff games, which he was unselfish in both games. Don't let Flea and AllBall fool you. He was unselfish. But if he continues that, he has to stay in the game because he's the guy that's going to give you that burst for scoring. And he's involving everyone. Now the Knicks are even scarier on offense. Then your Tibbs, and you look and you go on defense. All right, are the Pacers on fire? Remember game 2, they came out, Siakam was going bananas. Bananas, right? They knew they couldn't replicate game 1's momentum swing of everybody catching fire. Game 2, hold on, who's our go-to guy? Let's feed Siakam the ball, see what he's doing, and it worked. This game, same thing. Is Brunson working? I don't care in what shape or form he does it in. If it's working for him, you keep him in the game. And now we're looking at, yo, Cat, how are we playing defense right now? Are we giving up too many points because of you? Are the refs allowing you to get away with shit? If so, you got 1 foul and I'm sitting you down. Put Josh Hart in the game. That's it. You cannot let him get 2 fouls because now you ruin the second unit. Now we saw in game number, what's the game we won? No, the first game in Indiana, game 3. No, game 4, because we won game 3. So game 4, Karl Anthony Towns got into foul trouble. Second quarter, he scores 10 points and goes bananas. Don't ruin that. Tibbs allows the game to force him into a decision. No, you force your coaching onto the Pacers. He got 1 foul. As soon as he gets that foul, Josh Hart's in the game. Now we go on our run. Now we just do what we do. Now, however it goes because Brunson got us. And defensively, we should be good. Now you're worried about staggering Mitchell Robinson's minutes. And you stagger his minutes with Achua. You have to. He cannot play all 12 minutes. He should not be playing 8 minutes in the first quarter. He shouldn't. We have to rest him for a different time in the game where you need to shut down Pacer runs, right? So in that first quarter, it's important for me to see that, how Brunson is reacting to that, to tip off. If Brunson is not playing well, and by playing well, it's not about hitting shots. Brunson could be on fire. He could hit 10 shots in a row. I don't care. If we look lackadaisical on offense and the game is going back and forth and they're playing at a pace that I don't like, sit him down. I don't care. I don't care. Sit him down for Deuce McBride and let Deuce and Mitch dictate the game and allow Karl Anthony Towns to pick it up. You force Karl Anthony Towns' hand. Hey, you the big dog on the offense right now. Get in the game. Brunson's already hot. Brunson's already hot. Come the end of the first quarter, Brunson could come back in or start the second quarter with the second unit, the official second unit. You're gonna have to bench Mitchell Robinson at a certain point by the end of the first quarter. Then you bring in Precious Achiuwa. That's how I feel. That's how that first quarter should go. You look at those 2 guys, and that's it. To me, that's why when Flea asked me, "What would you do, Fabian? What would you do if you were coaching?" That's what I would do, Flea. That's what I would do. I wrote this game plan up in a span of 2.5 minutes on the train today. Just for you to know, folks. Can Cat get out of the first quarter with less than 1 foul out of the first half? Would be yes, but King Speech, here's my point. If he gets 1 foul, he has to sit. He has to. Because now you're ruining your own game plan. You already know Brunson could get it going if you want. And worst case, if Brunson don't have it going, put in Deuce in the game, and you want, if Brunson and Cat can't go off, you want the Deuce and Mitchell Robinson minutes. You want Deuce, Bridges, OG, and Mitchell Robinson in that game as soon as possible if those 2 can't get it going. That is your plan C or D. You want to go there because you want to stop the Pacers. You want to stop any confidence from building. You want to stop any one of their fast-paced momentum swings from happening because the game can get going for them. Not to say we can't come back. We can, but don't put yourself in a 10-point hole. Don't put yourself in a 20-point hole. Don't do it. Tibbs, again, he likes to coach from expecting you should play like I want you to play, how I told you to play. No, you have to also coach, oh, they're not doing what I said. Guess what? You're sitting, you're in. You're sitting, you're in. You have to figure this thing out. That's my soliloquy on punk ass Tibbs. We'll get to some of these comments for the next. Hold on, get some of these comments. What am I doing? Great takes, Fabian. Thank you, Dickerbacher. Oh, that's Bodega Mayor. Thank you, Bodega Mayor. Get to some of these comments before I take a commercial break. Go to the top. Oh, Darlene, the queen, the beautiful, the lovely, the extravagant. Darlene Queen, everybody. Be respectful to the ladies. I forgot to announce that because Kayla was in here earlier. Be respectful to the ladies. Oh, Matthew Carter. Are you related to the Beyonce and Jay? Matthew Carter. I hope you're watching that Rock Nation news. I ain't gonna get into that. Not today. But you see, shout out to Jay-Z, man. The sneaky Brooklyn Ninja King is always at it. I'll speak on that another time when the Jay-Z fans are around. Oh, I'm sorry. Matthew Carter says, shout out to Darlene and Tori B. Best all-ball fans ever. Indeed. Tony Brothers is the rep tonight, and 63% when he officiates goes to the home team. Damn. Good to know that. On live, everybody was killing me about Cat, and I said Cat gave me 24 and 10 from 4 and 4 with 4 fouls. It gave us 24 and 15, 20 and 7 in 7 minutes. Your best OG Flea impression. You want me to do it, or did I do it already? Because I'll be forgetting what I say like in the span of 5 minutes. I'm definitely gonna have Alzheimer's when I get older. Obviously, Town saved our season right there. Yeah, maybe so. That's what we have to do is limit turnovers. Yeah, that too. Game 4, we lost the game on turnovers. Josh Hart with them bum-ass turnovers. Johnny Furry looks 12. Furphy. Hey, Johnny Furphy, go attack King Speech on his channel. Go subscribe and attack him over there, guys. All of you guys. Go subscribe and attack King Speech, especially Johnny Furphy. I don't want no beef with you. You are 6'8", and I've been making fun of your name for like 10 minutes. Mitch should be closing, depending on how the game looks. But he should actually, James, you're right. Because even if we're up 10, depends on the momentum. Ah, shit, James. Good statement. Because now I got to think. If the Pacers are on a momentum build, I think you sit Cat or Brunson. Preferably Brunson. Because out of Cat or Brunson, let's think about it. Who can make a game-changing play? Cat might foul, yes, but he also can divert shots. He can grab rebounds to end to close the defensive possession. And that's when we built a 17-point lead in game 1. Brunson was on the bench. So let's say the Pacers are on a run. They're going a 6-0 run. I don't mind benching Brunson as if it just like a defensive possession. We're at the free throw line. What does Tom Thibodeau do? He benches Brunson because he wants defense. So guess what? Let's get the defense in there for 2 or 3 possessions and ruin their offensive momentum, right? That's like calling 3 timeouts. And now we get that going. Let's see if Brunson can close out. Or you go, if we go on a 6-0 run, because see, I think of the game like this. You guys flee this. I compare everything to football. But in football, you can put people in and out of the game. So on third down, you usually have traditionally you have a 3rd and long defense, meaning you have more cornerbacks out there, less linebackers. You definitely aren't supposed to have 5 guys on the line unless you're going to go all out blitz. But you're thinking deep, how do we defend speed downfield, downhill when it comes to 3rd and long? In the NBA, that would be the fast pace. If somebody has momentum and they're just scoring all out, all right, now we got to shut this down. You're not thinking about getting the ball back and scoring. You're thinking about getting the ball back in special teams for defense. How do we get it back to special teams? Meaning punt the ball or an interception. People don't think about an interception as special teams when it is. That's special teams. That's transition in football. You're transitioning the possession. So in basketball, it's obviously getting a rebound, having huge defensive stops, and then you have 2 or 3 possessions where if you're giving yourself an opportunity to score anywhere between 2 to 6 points, 2 to 8 points, you get them in foul trouble. That's what you want in a time like that, because now we're taking away all your momentum. Now we're taking away all your momentum and we're building ours, and it just shakes you. Especially now that it's game 6, you want to increase the pressure on them, make every shot have more weight on it for their side. Us, with momentum and with adrenaline, y'all could comment. You could utilize your momentum and adrenaline more on defense, throwing yourself around. Offense, you have to create something. And nobody on the Pacers are really super nice like that to crack you and score. And to like Siakam can do it, but if we throw Mitch on him, I would like to see you score 6 straight points with Mitchell Robinson on you. You're not doing it. You're not doing it, right? And if you know what, James Whitfield, yes, you're right. Especially if it's a close game. I don't care what time of the game it is. I want Mitchell Robinson in there with a defensive lineup and just sit Brunson out for a couple minutes. That's what I want in the fourth quarter. That's what I want in the fourth quarter. It took me a long ass couple minutes to get to that point, but once you got Mitch out there, OG, Deuce McBride, Mikal Bridges, Karl-Anthony Towns, it's a lot harder for Siakam to switch off of him. Even with Cat on him, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. You don't want, he doesn't, OG, he kills OG. Siakam kills OG, but you don't want OG Anunoby guarding you. He might want Mikal Bridges guarding him in the post, but Mikal can, if you're going to be out there, you need a three-point shot or a mid-range shot, Mikal could bother you, and you can't get to the basket as easily. 40 seconds, Huck Purdy got that dunk and has more third-round points than Embiid for his career. Y'all are so mean to Embiid. Keep it going, bum-ass Embiid. We should all get a check from the Knicks just to get out of Tibbs' pay. Word. That's called hazard pay. Another reason to relieve Tibbs, Knicks don't play a Brunson Cat two-man game. I don't know if I can blame them, though, King Speech. I've been thinking about that. I don't think their games complement each other. And I believe, again, I think it has to do with the fact that you saw Nick Nurse take Embiid from whatever he was doing before in the paint, in the mid-range, and put him at the top of the key to operate. Cat can do a lot more of that. That's the part to me that he should be operating with. If anyone should be going ISO 30, 40% of the game, it should be Cat. And it's not necessarily ISO, it's just to create for himself and somebody else. Before Tibbs let Cat get into foul trouble, bringing pressure to protect him from himself. Well, without Mitch in the game, right? Because we don't want to see Mitch and Precious lineups out there. That would be a disaster. And Tom Thibodeau cannot fly into New York after that. Game plan is feed Cat all day in the paint, draw doubles, and get the ball out of Hallie's hands. And, oh, man. Thank you for reminding me. Let me show you this stat. I think it's a tweet I sent the fellas in the group chat about that specifically. Hopefully they don't they let me play this or whatever. So, speaking of exactly what you just said, Young and Beats, watch the difference. His presence is felt for Mikal Bridges' presence is felt for 94 feet. He's face guarding in the half court, getting over aggressively, staying attached, using his length in an attempt to slow down the handoff. Right? This is how you're supposed to disrupt the opposing team's all-star. I know Flea said it. I know we both said it, or I agreed with him. To have Halliburton, look, Mikal Bridges is on him, 94 feet. And he knows no matter what we think of Mikal Bridges' defense this season, whether it's inconsistent or not. Flea even said it earlier in the last episode. He's thinking about how Mikal Bridges locked his ass up last game. He's thinking about that. Or not last game, but during the regular season. He's lanky. He's not brutally strong, but he can stay with you. He's going around the pick. Mitchell Robinson helps and hedges. I think that's the word, and should be falling back as Mikal Bridges recovers. Jalen Brunson shows he has to get back to Nembhard, whoever that is in the corner, because Halliburton is not throwing the ball off the backboard. Right? He couldn't even set himself up to shoot. Now Mitchell Robinson's in the paint. You're not gonna just throw an alley-oop, but maybe you would. I don't know. But look, Cat is showing also. You're not throwing an alley-oop with these 2 7-footers. It's just masterful defense. But that started with, of course, Mikal Bridges, 94 feet. And we've been saying it because, and shout out to Shaq's NBA on Twitter. We've been saying it because, yo, how come y'all get to just smother Jalen Brunson every game? How come we can't do that to their point guards? You know, this is not as you can't do that to SGA. SGA got a handle and he'll deal with it, right? And they got other guards to pass the ball to. See, that's the thing with the Pacers. Okay, you got Siakam who can kill you. You got Halliburton who is a playmaker. But do you really want to give up the ball to anybody else to make a decision? I don't have that. I don't think I have that highlight here. But when Mitchell Robinson locked Miles Turner the hell up, that was part of the reason why. Because Mikal Bridges was guarding Halliburton off ball, and Turner is left to make a decision. And he's not Karl-Anthony Towns. He's not Joel Embiid, who's a decent passer. Actually, he's a pretty good passer at the top of the key. Joel Embiid has always been like a horrible passer out of a double team in the post. But I digress. Miles Turner, we don't know him for that. And Mitchell Robinson is on you. We want more of those possessions, which is going back to my original point. You want to be able to optimize your teammates and whoever's complimenting them as much as possible throughout the game. Baby Bubba. And Mikal Bridges is probably able to do that by staying on Halliburton and following him, stalking him through the full court and the half court. Two Negroes who can't score. Excuse me. The official playback. Tibbs can go their hands and tell them where they should be. DeLon Wright Bridges, OG Cat Mitch would be a perfect close. Yeah, I think we all agree. The truth is in the middle podcast. Hedges, correct. Thanks, man. I'm trying to learn the vernacular because certain things I watched him do, but I don't know how you guys call it in basketball land. Plus, you guys like to make fun of me. So I can't hit a layup, but it's all good, though. I'm working on it. Harlem World King, what's going on? Uptown, baby. Mitch be clumsy, doofy playing times. He plays shaky, fam. Harlem World. Mitch is clumsy and doofy, but he plays amazing defense. Two things can be true. Cat is clumsy and doofy and does not play amazing defense. Two things true again. Cat won't take a charge. Oh. I don't think he's ever in position to take a charge. You know what I'm saying? Cat is so slow-footed. He's got them cement feet that, like, does Tibbs coach Cat as, you know, expecting that body type to make the adjustments? Because you can't coach Cat like he's Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is more spry. You can't coach Cat like he's Kevin Garnett. These are the guys that Mitchell Robinson, right? Joakim Noah, who's a little slow-footed too, but I think he still got better twinkle toes than Cat, which is ironic that Cat doesn't have twinkle toes. I'm sorry. Love this. It's Zach from the Shy. Oh, what's going on, Zach? Z Money, we've been talking about you, man. Yeah, Esco, I'm not gonna official playback. I don't say pause on 42. I'm sorry, guys. I apologize in advance. But I do this for the algorithms, baby. Before I get to the algorithms, you know my saying. Keep your eyes on the prize, baby Bubba. AllBall TV shirts are in the building. They scared, but I'm not. You know the motto. Cop one in black, cop one in white. Thank you for all those who have cop. Keep it alive and well. Y'all show so much love in the comments. If you can, spare some change. Hit the pinned comment in the comments, in the chat. Click the link for the They Scared But I'm Not t-shirts. We got more t-shirts and more merchandise on the way. We're just starting with this thing. Of course, we want to have hoodies and stuff like that and get to real good, you know, a good evolution on the merchandise game. And we think everything starts from the bottom. Being a company that's starting from the basement, from the ground up. Of course, we recognize everybody that's in the building and helps us out. And you know, remain independent as possible, because then I won't be able to like curse people out. I won't be able to tell, you know, Kristaps Porzingis that he has to go visit Magic Johnson's doctor and stuff like that. I want to remain as independent as possible. And if it wasn't for y'all, I wouldn't be able to stop doing overtime at work. I wouldn't be able to remain in pursuit of this goal that we have of getting everybody to do our dream, which is to talk basketball and find our family on here and, you know, talk about the game the way we want to talk about the game and share the love with the people that love us and we love them unequivocally. I think I said that word correctly. But the coffee's hitting, baby. I am not 44, Thomas. Watch your mouth. In other news, I'm doing this for the algorithms, y'all. Stephen A. Smith. Fake ass New York Knicks fan. Stephen A. Smith alert. He was in the bill. Oh my God, even worse than Stephen A. Smith. It is this horrendous version of a basketball analyst, Jay Williams. Please grow a mustache. You look crazy. You always sound crazy. I hate 100% of all your takes. You never sound authentic. You got punked by Stephen A. Smith. I'll never forget it. I don't care if you could beat me up. I don't care. Look at your face. You have the right suit on. Immaculate. You look well-dressed, well-kept. But your takes, trash. And you played at the highest level. You talk about a superstar college player coming to the league. He had a triple-double for the Bulls. I thought he was on his way when the Chicago Bulls drafted him. Jason Williams, speaking of shot for Zach from the Z Show. Zach from Chi-Town, he's in the comments. I wonder how they felt when Jay Williams got there in the 2000s and they still recovered after his injury with Heinrich and all of them. D Rose after all that. But even D Rose got there. They were still competitive. But Jay Williams, he just has, and I've heard him speak before off, ESPN. It's a guy that, and I get it mentally, it's hard to get over the hump in a lot of ways about yourself, just life in general. Even this content creator game, just being in front of a camera, being in front of a microphone, talking for people, you can psych yourself out. So imagine me in my average daily life psyching myself out of my own goals or things that I think I should deserve. Imagine Jay Williams, who's a superstar, potentially a superstar NBA player. Forget about the motorcycle accident for a second. He spoke to the lack of confidence that he had as a player. And apparently he hasn't learned, because his basketball takes are horrible.
Like literally cutting teeth here on this one between these two. I love Jalen Brunson and Karl Towns had a masterful performance. But I'm going to give Tibbs and the scheme a lot more credit for how they forced Indiana to play and cutting down the number of possessions, forcing Indiana to be a half-court team. That led to the success for the New York Knicks as well.
I would have given my answer to that question would have been Brunson and Towns through game four. But after seeing what Tibbs did.
So he wants to give, I think that's what the segment is about. He wants to give Tibbs credit, I guess. 100% credit. I don't know if that's an argument about the last game that we won. And you have to give him credit because I think people could have remained stubborn and not changed. Okay.
Last night, you certainly want to throw credit in his direction.
Yes.
One of the things that I'm not going to let people do.
I'm sorry you have to look at my face while I pause this, because I think they try to take down your videos if you play their videos for too long and show their face. So whatever. I'm not going to take your likeness, Stephen A.
However, is use the word discredit when it comes to Tom Thibodeau. That is a lie. Now, you have certain people out there, and I'll leave them nameless in the media. They know who they are, who go to battle for Tibbs all day, every day, because they've known him for years. I like Tibbs a lot. I'm proud of the job that he's done in resurrecting the New York Knicks franchise. Him being as hardcore as he is, dedicated, basketball, life for all day, every day, nothing else matters. I mean, you've got stories of players telling him to get out and enjoy a life for a change, you know, throughout his career, because they know how dedicated he is and all he wants to do is eat, breathe, and live basketball. The flip side to that, however, is despite how hard he works, how dedicated he is, how effective he is as a coach, and how well respected he is, when it comes to playoff competition.
It took him 3 minutes to glaze Tibbs and finally get to your point that probably everybody has made, Stephen A. Smith.
And you talk about adjustments. There have been times on many occasions where he has been left to be seen as sorely lacking. And even as this series has waned, we were looking at their bench. What did we point out? That the amount of minutes that the New York Knicks starters have played in this postseason compared to everybody else was over 700 minutes. It was approximately 15 games, what amounts to 15 games more than other starters have played. Well, that's a problem, because when you look at a Rick Carlisle, when I'm looking at Daigneault in OKC, and I'm seeing the...
So that's the thing about having producing. That was Stephen A. Smith, Jay Williams, reacting to Tom Thibodeau and the Knicks win over the Pacers. I think does this guy say anything, Brian Windhorst? Because Stephen A. just be
disrespecting him. Played 9 people in a playoff field. He
extraordinarily deep, and they've done an incredible job of giving Tibbs players that fit the way Tibbs wants to play. And it's one of the classic mistakes you see every year in the NBA is teams hire a coach and then don't give them the players. And the only way I would ever see Leon Rose after making the conference finals moving on from Tibbs is if it would be a call from higher up. And that what's defined this era is that Jim Dolan has left Leon Rose alone. So
okay. So two points made by Brian Windhorst that I think were dope or just stood out. The first was Tibbs getting his guys and playing them. That's a lie. Because last year, excuse me, he had his guys and did not play them. Precious Achiuwa did not play until Game 4 and helped shut down Joel Embiid in Game 4 after leaving Isaiah Hartenstein on Joel Embiid the entire game. And he picked up 5 fouls in the third quarter of Game 4. And OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa shut him the hell down. They shut the one-legged Joel Embiid down after we smoked the 76ers in the regular season when we were fully healthy. You entered that series with Mitchell Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa to rotate. Julius Randle was not available. OG we saw playing stellar defense last season against the Joker, Joel Embiid, and Giannis. I saw it with my own eyes. You don't have to play OG on Embiid all series long, but I digress. The point is that even if he has his guys, Tibbs does not just go to the 8-man rotation, 9-man rotation. He does not divvy out the minutes like he should. So Stephen A. Smith is right about that. And I'm kicking him while he's sitting on that ESPN chair, because I don't care. You don't watch the games. Somebody fed you that information. All you're doing is reading a newspaper article. You don't even know who Isaiah Hartenstein was at a certain point. You thought we should even deserve to play him. Dead wrong. So the second point that Brian Windhorst made was that unless he gets a call from James Dolan, Leon Rose is not going to get rid of Tom Thibodeau. He's 100% right about that. That's something that I've been pushing back on anybody that has an issue with James Dolan. I can't say anything about him, man, because he gave $35 million or whatever it was to Phil. I think it was $50 million to Phil Jackson, who gave $25 million to Derek Fisher. So basically, Phil Jackson duped us out of close to $100 million between him and Derek Fisher. Highway robbery. There should be a RICO law from Eric Adams put out in retroactive fashion for Phil Jackson and Derek Fisher. Call both of their asses back downtown. Put that on the front page, goddammit. They've robbed James Dolan, right? They robbed him because they knew it came at a point with the Carmelo Anthony ordeal. They traded for Carmelo Anthony. Donnie Walsh went out the window. He was a more competent GM, front office guy. And once that was ending, Carmelo was coming to the end of his tenure here with the Knicks. They got Porzingis. he still got Phil Jackson. The idea of Phil Jackson was still okay because he's been around excellence his whole damn career. Phil Jackson was on the 1970s Knicks, one of, if not the greatest team of all time, and probably, nobody wants to say this, maybe the most influential team ever in basketball. Maybe, because you can't get better than that. And the balance on that team was amazing, right? Well, Phil Jackson's sitting right there. 20 years later, 18 years later, he's coaching Chicago Bulls, Michael Jordan, that dynasty. 10 years after that, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, that dynasty. He's been around greatness his entire life. He pushes a lot. He's not scared to be confrontational in the media specifically. James Dolan isn't a famous media guy, but he knew Phil Jackson, he can handle all that. And Phil Jackson being such a superstar name in this game, James Dolan knew, yo, it's time to take the heat off me, man. I'm doing everything I can, including letting these people rob me for a chance at running the New York Knicks. Fast forward to Leon Rose, who, if I'm not mistaken, the relationship between Leon Rose and James Dolan started with the LeBron James, D Wade, and Knicks talk, bringing those two guys, those two players to the Knicks, and it fell apart. Well, remember, Leon Rose, superstar agent with CAA back then, they bought his company out, and he brought them Carmelo Anthony. He also brought Bargnani over here. I forgot his first name, Leandro Bar, whatever the hell his first name is. And these talks were happening and relationship was developing to bring in Leon Rose and Worldwide West. Well, these are two names that are highly coveted around these players. So again, the Phil Jackson debacle was bad. And yeah, James Dolan should know better. But if we think we don't think that James Dolan knows about basketball, we know for a fact Phil Jackson knows basketball. We know that. And he messed up. He robbed us. So we can't blame Dolan for that. He does it again with Leon Rose, Worldwide West, who started their careers off in New Jersey, started off their relationship, major basketball relationships with Michael Jordan, with what's the Camden family, the Camden dynasty, the Wagner family, the Warren Wagner Sr. He's the one who hooked up Worldwide West and Leon Rose with Michael Jordan, sat down with him, things of that nature. So this is an East Coast tandem in Worldwide West and Leon Rose. They know what it is to win in New York, and they know what it takes, which no matter how much, yeah, Andrea Bargnani, James, I did not want to remember that, James. I didn't want to remember Andrea. Leon Rose and Worldwide West knows what it takes to win in New York. It's not just the winning, it's the style of play, which as much of a criticism I've always brought to the table for Tibbs, he knows the culture of New York is this. It's a blue collar thing. So now we got that established. You bring in Jalen Brunson. Nobody knew he was going to be a stellar guy. They probably thought he would be a starting point guard and, deliver for us with Randall or whatever it is. You establish that and establish a place where people want to come to, right? And it happened because Karl Anthony Towns, there has been rumored to come to New York for the last 2-3 seasons, and he finally got here. So when we finally got him, I was disappointed because I didn't think he was a Tibbs guy, and it went against the Tibbs mold, right? And that's what Brian Windhorst just said also. I didn't think he was a Tibbs guy, Karl Anthony Towns, even though statistically he had his best seasons with Tibbs. And now he probably might have had, at some point, the best portion of his career as a New York Knick. He was on an MVP run in December. So we never seen Karl Anthony Towns play like that, not that I can remember. And that was with Tibbs, another guy that he helped leap and establish himself in the league. So Jay Williams, I never want to hear you talk again. James Dolan has turned this thing around. He said it on the Roommates podcast. I saw that clip. I don't care for their show, but they sat James Dolan down, and the guy who avoids the media at all costs, except when he's playing Scrooge McDuck, throwing basketballs out of a limousine to these little kids on the sideline. I wish I was. I'm gonna act like I'm on. Have one of them. Yo, Flea, I'm going crazy. Have one of those, issues with myself, maybe mentally. I would stand on the side like, yo, hey, Mr. Dolan, pass me the ball. I said, yo, fuck you. Give me a money bag, you rich motherfucker, Scrooge McDuck. Why are you driving around in a limousine throwing me basketballs, man? We ain't get to no championship yet. But I digress. Because he did say, I know we didn't win, guys, but here's a gift. He really is Scrooge McDuck. That shit is crazy. Um, yo, stop laughing, cause I'm gonna keep going. And I drank some coffee. By the way, also, this is a Jalen Brunson legacy game. I think I retweeted whoever the hell this is. Barrett's GOAT. I don't know about the rest of all this information. He said this is Brunson's legacy game. McHale and OG make their open threes. Yeah. That's when they go too far. But specifically, Brunson legacy game. This is when Jalen Brunson, and I reposted word, Jalen Brunson got to win. Everyone's healthy, right? For Jalen Brunson, if he wins game 6 in Knicks history, this is going to put him on a different level, man. This is going to put him on a different level. To tie a series and bring it back to the Garden, especially with him playing the way he did the last 2 games. We don't need a Jalen Brunson 50 ball unless we need it and nobody else is scoring. But if he does this, forget about it. Forget about it. We're gonna start saying Patrick Ewing who. We're gonna go crazy.
Slow down.
I'm not gonna slow down.
Slow down.
Please
Slow down.
If Jalen Brunson brings this back to the Garden, I'm talking about in the same way that he played the last 2 games. If he brings it back to the Garden, we're gonna start those talks because we didn't get these kind of games with Patrick Ewing. When it mattered most, we were like, "Come on, brother. Come on, brother. Is that all you got?"
Let's go out. Let's go to the closeout game in '94 against the Bulls. Let's go to the biggest. The biggest. I'm here in the cut.
Thank you, RP. He said, Fabian jumps on here alone and he still gets overtalked in the comments.
RP, go to hell. I love you, brother.
Tory B understood my Scrooge McDuck comment. Life is like a hurricane deep. Oh, he says deep in Duckburg. They say here in Duckburg. Deep in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers. That's what he says. Lasers, airplanes.
Yes, that's what he says.
It's a Duckburg. Might solve a mystery or rewrite history. Come on, man. We in the building.
DuckTales. Woo.
DuckTales was so fire.
Fire.
Disney Afternoon was so fire. These cartoons, I can't even say these cartoons are trash. It's just too many of them.
Are you an anime guy?
No. My wife is. I hate that shit.
Is she?
Yes. She watches one that looks Dominican and it's funny.
They got Dominican anime. I gotta ask Taj. I gotta ask my son. He's into the anime shit. They got Dominican anime. That's so fun. Yeah.
And then there's another one she tried to get my son into, and it got like 3,000 episodes. I'm like, what is this? What? Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Like, maybe I'm exaggerating, but it's a lot. It's a lot, Flea. This is a legacy game for Brunson, no?
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. I think this is probably the biggest game in his career. Right? Yes. Professional career.
Yes.
But he's also played in huge games, right? He's also been in. See, here's my thing. And people probably won't equate it, right? It won't matter. But the guys that are able to win championships in the NCAA, like that tournament, being able to go through a one and done style tournament, every game is lose or go home, and to be able to get through that, right? That, I don't know, that for me, that just puts you in a place where you've played under a level of pressure, you've played under a certain level of lights and things like that, and now you get to this stage, and you should understand, like, the magnitude of the game should be at a sense of, the sense of urgency should be high, especially when you're in the playoffs. So we in a Game 6, Eastern Conference Finals, win or go home. I feel like the guys that we're going to need to rely on have been in these positions before. They just need to step up to the plate. This is another. We're fighting for 0-0 right now. We're fighting for getting this thing back tied 3-3, go back to the Garden, Game 7, and it's 0-0. Whoever wins moves on. That's what we're fighting for.
For the NCAA version of a tournament, right? The elimination.
And that's why only reason why I brought it up, because it has that feel to it right now, right? Just the way these teams are playing. Everybody has a different kind of style, right? It's refreshing almost to not see a bunch of teams in the playoffs right now jacking up a bunch of threes. Whoever hits the most threes is going to be the guy that you know, and defends a little bit is going to be the team that wins. Now, the Knicks have a definitive style. You know, it's hard for Knicks fans to define it, but they have a style. The Pacers have a style. The Thunder have a style. You know, like, so it's a little, for me, it's refreshing to see, you know, teams have different styles on how to, you know, accomplish winning the championship. So I'm very curious to see how we come out tonight, Fabian. Very, very curious.
I am too, because for the most part we haven't had a style. And what's OKC style?
I think OKC style is to play physical defense, to turn you over, establish SGA, especially going downhill, right? I don't think they put him in a position where he has to get the long ball going for him to get going. Like, for him to get going is what everybody hates, getting to the free throw line, putting pressure on the defense, and then getting everybody else involved. Like, when Chet is having a monster game on the defensive end, they play well. When Jalen Williams, all-NBA defender, when he's hitting shots and playing aggressive, they play well. You know, their style is start Lou Dort. By the 6-minute mark, Lou Dort is hurt. I mean, is tired. We're going to bring in Caruso. And guess what happens when they bring in Caruso? He gets tired. We bring in Casey Wallace. and now they have waves and waves of guys that can do so many different things on the offensive end, but everybody plays defense. And so I think that's their definitive style, beating you up on the defensive end and taking advantage on you on the offensive end, because you ain't, you know, you don't have any energy to do almost anything. How many games have they lost this postseason? They went to 7 games with Denver, right?
So that's 3.
They lost 1 to Minnesota. That's 4. And I think they lost 1 to Memphis in the first round, right? Or did they sweep Memphis?
No, they lost that one game, I think. Did they win that game that they came back down from?
Back down from
no,
30,
they lost.
then
Yeah,
down 20 or something like that?
Yeah, they didn't win that game.
I believe they did win that game. That's why they was talking so much cash shit about Memphis. But let's be right. Let's be accurate.
This season, somebody told us in the comments too and beat me to it.
Somebody told us what they
Oh
said.
no, they swept them 4-0.
Oh, they swept them. See? Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
See? So they did win that game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So OKC's 12-4, swept.
Right. So they've lost 4 games this postseason, and I think they have a definitive style. And I also think Indiana has a definitive style. They like to push pace. They like to get the first easiest look. Right. I think they look a little clunky when they got to run things in a half-court set. But when they get into the secondary break and get something early, they're a tough team to beat. They don't turn and they don't turn the ball over. That's the other thing about Indiana. That's why it was so uncharacteristic. 20 turnovers in game. What was that? 5?
Right, for the Pacers. Yeah. No. I think it goes back. You were off screen, but I don't know if you heard me. Mikal Bridges picking him up 94 feet.
Yes.
Like that's because we were the ones turning the ball over in game 4. I think we saw some of it in game 4, but if Bridges does that in game 4, I think that's a different outcome. Because Brunson and Cat were going off in the first half. The game was close until the third quarter, right?
But see, I totally agree with you. I think we know how to beat this team. We just got to keep putting the same formula together. Like, let's not get mentally tired when you know what the formula is. When you come out mentally tired, you're not ready to jump out there and fly around on defense the way we did in game 5. We gotta be mentally prepared, because the things on the offensive end, I think, going to take care of themselves. Like, I think we know what really works on the offensive end. I mean, it looks better than other times, right? I always talk about when the ball is moving, it's not sticking, we look better. But for us to be mentally like strong, that means that we're gonna come out and play lockdown defense. That means picking up Halliburton 94 feet, whoever's out there. If that's Bridges, pick him up early. If that's McBride, pick him up early. If that's OG, pick him up early. Pick him up before he gets to half court. I think I said it last time, thinking about making him think a little more than what he usually does. So we could beat this team, Fabian. We could beat this team. There was a level of intent. I ain't gonna lie. The way they walked us down in game 1, I thought they snatched our heart. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they snatched our heart. I thought they snatched all the confidence we had. But we've fought. We fought thus far for the rest of this series.
I think, you know what? I think that's where you push back with when I say
Darlene B, what's up, baby?
When I say Cat is soft, because it's not like, I mean, he has done that in the past. Like last year in the Western Conference Finals, after he shut down Joker, it's a tougher matchup to deal with Dallas because you just have rim runners, and Luka's looking for those guys, which is when we talked about that the other night. I don't want to veer off. When we said, you have to have a roster change for Brunson to play the off ball and his style of play, that involves probably more rim runners, and really the screen setting that we had last season. Anthony Towns is going to struggle against a team like that because in the half court, he's bumping into a bunch of trees and they can out rebound them with 2 or 3 7-footers on the team. And he disappeared against them, but he's been known to have that roller coaster style. But this series, I can't say he's lacked aggression sometimes.
He's been mixy. He's been mixing it up in there, bro.
Yeah, and
he's been mixing it up. I mean, he can't run away from that high-pitched voice. I'm sorry, he just can't run away from that. He can't run away from the aesthetics, the flailing, and when he doesn't flail. What do we talk about, Fabian? When he doesn't flail, he goes up strong, straight up to the rim. He gets the calls that we want him to get. You've been talking about it all season long. What does Cat have to do to get calls, Flea? Why can Draymond Green and Josh Hart get calls, but Cat can't get calls? They get calls because they're aggressive. They go to the rim strong, right? They try to finish around the rim with contact. If you're running away from the contact, it's hard for the referees to reward you when, if I was a referee, I'm gonna reward a guy that is trying to finish through contact as opposed to run away from the contact. So, and when he plays like that, he gets the calls.
But it's hard. It's easier to listen to me telling you call that. When I'm going up strong like Josh Hart, he's built like Josh Hart. He don't look like an ass. He's going up with contact. You can feel him move. When he moves, it's like he's doing so because you can see the contact. Yo, call that. He's yelling. And just you know what it is? It's the way he argues with the ref is the same way he argues with his body to go play basketball against the other guy. Like that's the conversation you're having with yourself. That's how I look at him. But he is who he is. You hate when I say that. To RP's point, he's right. To say Brunson would now overtake Ewing is, disrespectful because Ewing never had a Karl Anthony Towns. Ewing never had a Julius Randle. So you're right, RP. I've gone back on that before where it got so far with the Patrick Ewing slander that at one point, Flea, this is the only reason why I started defending Patrick Ewing like 20 years ago. People started saying, shout out to my man Jesus. A human Jesus, not the people's Lord and Savior. And
Jesus.
I ain't trying to get into the mix like that. No, it's not Jesus. Why do black people do that shit? I got to an argument at work one time calling him Jesus, and everybody was like, yo, his name is Jesus. I said, yo, hold on a second. So you think when we go to church, we all of a sudden end our prayers with en el nombre de Dios? Jesus? You think we speak English in church out of nowhere? No, we call, yes, his name is Jesus, but if we speak in English, we call him Jesus. That's what it is. I digress.
Yeah, please, because that is not enough for us to have a 10-minute conversation on Jesus and Jesus. Big shout out to your guy, Jesus. Move on.
I'm explaining why I can call him Jesus, a human being who he was named after, by the way. Shout out to both Jesus.
Even better. Lord have mercy.
He said that David Robinson was better than Patrick Ewing. I believe he said that.
He
Or
is
he may have, it may have been the opposite. And I was like, yo, you know what? Enough is enough with this shit. Why is David Robinson better? And I'm not going to go into a deep dive with that. It's just the fact that whatever you feel about
you
him,
asking to answer that? Or
you don't want to answer that. Because to me, whatever shortcomings Ewing had, David Robinson had. And he got torched way worse against
Which were what?
Not winning, period. And you were
and that's the conversation. That's the only conversation that you can have when it comes to Patrick Ewing, comparing him to all the all-time greats, is accomplishments. When you talk about accomplishments, yeah, he may fall short. But when you talk about being able to compete against a David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Mutombo, Mourning, the list goes on. Whatever, Brad Daugherty, whatever all-star level, all-time great big you want to name, Patrick, Shaq, he competed against all of them. He wasn't fooled against these guys. Right. But again, that's why I think the ring thing, certain people overrated. Because, I mean, it is overrated for errors. For certain errors, it's overrated. For the 90s, I think sometimes it is overrated. For any era, you got, once we start using rings, it's like, okay, you need a certain team to win rings. You just do. So even the David Robinson versus Patrick Ewing, I'm like, all right, you think if Ewing had Tim Duncan, what do you think he would do if he had Tim Duncan on the team? What do you think happens if Patrick Ewing against Tim Duncan when he's still healthy? I mean, to be honest, it was proven, and we talking about a depleted Patrick Ewing was able to be a part of the team. As soon as he got an ounce of help, we were in the NBA Finals. Go figure. The 97 year, if we don't get all of those suspensions, we might beat the Bulls. Fuck all that. That 97 year that we got all them suspensions with Miami, and Miami winds us beating us in 7, we might have punched up on Chicago that year. I would have been very confident, and the whole world was very confident in the Knicks going into that Eastern Conference Finals in 97. Extremely confident. Well, speaking of Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Anthony Mason, what a great segue that we just landed on. The greatness of greatness is in the building. Charles Oakley. I think Flea mentioned this a couple weeks ago. Before we get into the comment, just want to play what he says. Charles Oakley now believes, all that aside, Unk definitely supposed to be at the games. The Garden misses Oak. I'll leave it at that. Let's see what he had to say about being at the Garden.
I went for 10 years. At least, I mean, if I'm your road dog, I'm you A, I'm the B, you got to speak up for me. He haven't spoke up yet, so I'm gonna let it just play out. I would love to be there. I know the fans would love me to be there. I love the fans. They gave me a lot of cheer over the years, but it all started from the commission, the owner, and all the other owners in the NBA, because he's making it bad for all the teams in the league. But something like this will be going on for 8 years.
I got you on that, and it's interesting too because you said Patrick. What can Pat do in his situation? What is he not doing that's not helping the situation?
By being there. Number one. Number two, he should have called me and talked to me like a man when this happened. Never done that. I have Reggie Miller, Brad Daugherty, MJ, all the other guys I went to war with, they spoke up. But the guys I played with, but, you know, it just, I mean, I guess it go with his style of life, you know, never been, like I said, he never been a guy who really, when we was down and out in the situation, in course, with a playoff game, regular season game, you know, never stepped up. So maybe I shouldn't be expecting him to step up so much now. And that's what's wrong with a lot of guys. Use your voice. Don't let the dollar control you.
First time, you're going to get a fresh reaction. That's the first time I seen that shit. I'm going to let you intro. That is the first. I mean, because no.
We're gonna do it
Oh,
again.
Big Flea, the biggest, y'all. Undisclosed area right now, the biggest, y'all. But no.
So
no. I don't like my
why,
light. I don't like my lighting.
The reason why I even saw that video was because shout out to Tommy Beer. Love all of his stats. If you're on Twitter, check him out. He always got some new stats. Diehard Knicks fan. He said, nah, F that. Forget all the Dolan. Man, nah, fuck that. Forget all the Dolan stuff. Oak should not be allowed to set foot inside MSG until he issues a loud public apology to Patrick for all the shit he's talked over the years. Bash Pat and now wants Ewing to help him out. Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
That whole clip that you just played was very cringy. I was sitting here like, when is he gonna press pause and stop this shit? That's embarrassing for Oak. I'm gonna be honest.
I wanted to read the whole thing.
And you only did that because he's sitting with one of your favorite players. I know the things that you do. I know the things that you do.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I forgot that he was with Jim Jackson. Jim Jackson was like one of my first favorite players of all time.
That was nasty.
I beyond hated it, man. Charles Oakley, what I tweeted back out was, yo, man, it's not for nothing. If you want to say Patrick Ewing was acting like a bitch in crunch time in the 90s, all right, cool, bro. But you've been calling Patrick Ewing a bitch for 30 years now. And if you saying this publicly, who knows what you were saying behind his back? And if he didn't show up back then, that's what you expect now. Yo, you are so sassy, bro. I don't care who you can knock out. I don't care who you slap. You can fuck me up and all that, Oakley. I really don't give a fuck, man. Enough is enough. Now all of a sudden you want to go back in the building? You want to go back in the garden? Because we popping now, right? Because we hot now. Because if we were garbage, you wouldn't give a fuck about all that.
Get him right.
Yo, get off, yo, Oak. Get off our dick, bro. How about
Get him right? Get him right!
Fuck Charles Oakley. Straight up and down. What would your career be if Patrick Ewing wasn't around? Talking shit about Patrick Ewing. Enough is enough.
Get him right.
Enough is enough. Yo, Oak, go do your thing. Do whatever it is that you do. I'm definitely hiring security if you in the building, even if you're 80 years old. But get the fuck out of here already, bro.
Nah, for real.
Like, how many? It's been 30 years and you've been calling him a straight up bitch the entire time. So you want him to call Dolan for what? You got locked up in the garden. What you got locked up for? He said, don't come to the garden. I don't know your situation. Nobody knows your situation. But you go on Jim Jackson show and do all that shit. What do you want Patrick Ewing to do? He's in the building, bro.
And they just re-ingratiated Patrick Ewing back in the garden. Y'all ain't seen Patrick Ewing in the garden celebrated like this in almost 20 years. This is not something that's been going on. And Patrick, they just brought Patrick back. Patrick ain't been around coaching at Georgetown, coaching when he was coaching in the NBA. The Knicks didn't bring him back. So Oakley, shut the fuck up. He hasn't been around schmoozing with these niggas and didn't do you a solid. They just let him back in the building to show him some love.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm gonna tell you what it is because he smacked Charles Barkley and all that. All right, cool. We heard the stories, bro. You smacked this other dude, owed you bread. All right, you a gangster. Okay, you tough. You tough. So if you so tough, go handle your business. Go sit down with Dolan like a man. Yo, I don't know what happened, but I think it's a good thing for all of us if I sit down in the front court. You ain't gotta apologize. I ain't gotta apologize. Let bygones be bygones. Be a man, bro. How about that? You want to call this man a bitch? What you going to do after you called him a bitch again and you got to sit down next to him in the front row at Celebrity Row and he got to keep it cool as usual because you be talking all tough all the time and nobody gives a fuck. You got a whole head full of gray hair and you still talking tough. So somebody clap your ass. That's why they beat your ass in Vegas. You couldn't walk for 3 months, whatever it was. Dog, when we going to let up? I hate this shit. I don't
like it.
Let the tough act go, man. Let the tough act go. I wish Mace was still alive so we could talk to him. Yo, bro, God bless the dead, by the way. Yo, bro, go talk to your man. Who cares? Who cares? You're going to beat everybody up who's scared of you because the ones who ain't scared of you, they don't care. James Dolan ain't scared of you. Guess what? He got 10 dudes to get you up out of there. That's what he does. And all these guys signed up to go get money. And we can't say Patrick Ewing was a bandwagon guy. He beefed with Dolan and came back over there.
That's what I'm saying. They wasn't
your whole career, your legacy, Oakley, is based on being a Knick. And the only reason why that shit is relevant is because of Patrick Ewing. Enough is enough with the bullshit. Going back to RP's point. Fuck out of here with this motherfucker, bro.
Smoke that. I thought you could have gave him a little more, but you smoked that. We did. Sorry. And Oak deserved that, to be honest. Oak really deserved that. Oak is being set. You call that's sass. That's sass.
It's very sassy. Why are we wilding on Oakley over a misunderstanding? How do you know? Regardless if it's a misunderstanding or not, guess who's begging to go back in the building over getting manhandled? Your beef ain't with Patrick Ewing. Your beef is the dude who got you kicked out. Hey, that's my problem. You want back in to this fucking spot that you got kicked out of for whatever reason, and you begging to come in here on the low because you dick riding us. That's what it is. Back the glory days are back. Brunson brought it back. You were dick riding LeBron when he was in Cleveland, like, yo, that's why I'm not gonna go to the Knicks because he kicked you out of there. Ha ha ha. I remember all your interviews, bro.
I remember that shit.
Fuck out of here. Well, I don't care what size you are. If you a dick rider, that's my biggest thing. Men are bigger groupies than women.
For sure.
Bigger groupies, and it's shit like this. Shit like this. Yo, go man up, bro. Because Ewing wouldn't talk to you like that. I'm telling you, I would talk to you like that, and I would run for my life. Fuck Charles Oakley, bro.
Charles Oakley is over 60 now. Like we could kill the tough act too. He's not going around smacking nothing now. He did all his smacking 20, 30 years ago. He ain't smacking shit now. Let's slow down. We love Oak, but no. If we had to have a conversation like this, we should be able to have a conversation like this and not worry about if he want to get physical. I would not be worried about no nigga, no senior citizen trying to get crazy. Sit down and relax.
We're gonna need some guys around us.
Tough guy act is over. Flea's here.
I'm definitely talking shit with Flea in the building. Yo, Flea, fuck.
Like, who the hell am I, right? Shit. Get your head knocked off like the rest of them, Flea. Crazy.
Fuck him. Well, listen, man. Just if we talking like this, because he don't understand any other kind of talk. So talk like this. It doesn't matter who's scared of you. You're begging to come back in the building. That's the owner. Go talk to him. Go holler at him like a man. That's it. That's it. Stop acting like you're not trying to be in the building. That's it. You know what it is. It's New York. You know ain't nothing like this thing over here when we're up on fire. He knows that. And now you want back in after you said, nah, I ain't never going back in there. You have like 4 or 5 iterations of this. You probably bumped your head too many times, bro. Yo, I just can't. I can't stand people who don't stand on like whatever they said. And if you backtracked on it, yo, that's on you and that guy. Patrick Ewing had his own beef and settled his own beef. Why don't you settle your own shit? Let me call this guy all kind of bitches for that.
The nigga got let back in the club, right? Because he was like silently banned too, but it was never talked about. They never brought Patrick back to coach. They never brought Patrick back to celebrate him after retiring his jersey, ever. He was never there. They never had him on the Jumbotron to show love, one of the greatest Knicks of all time, this, that. They never did that for him. So now he's back in the spot. You've been talking shit about me for the last 30 years, 25 years. I get back in the spot, and now I'm supposed to advocate for you after you've been talking shit about me for however long. Make that make sense. He said, Jim Jackson asked him, how was Patrick fucking up? I'm paraphrasing now. He said, by being there. By being there? By being there. So now I'm not supposed to go because they didn't let you back in the building.
Right. So now we're a team again. I ain't get the memo because you've been shitting on me for the last 25 years. I ain't get the memo about us being that cool. I got to fight for you no matter what. The hell I got to do with anything, man? Okay, he wasn't in the foxhole, whatever. What should I expect from him, whatever? So you expect to motivate him to help you out by shitting on him. Because look, we shit on Patrick Ewing enough. We already know about his legacy. You ain't got to tell us anymore. And I get it. If you want to be honest about that, be honest about that. But that has nothing to do with your monkey ass getting into some stupid shit with James Dolan, regardless of whose fault it is. That's on you to go settle that as an adult, as just man to man.
Let me ask you a question. In the history of the NBA, 75 years and counting, Over 5,000 players have played in the NBA.
Right.
We can count one person who has been dragged out as a former player by security. We can count one out of 5,000 plus in a 75-year span, 75+ year span. Put that together. Fabian, put that together, bro.
Well,
one man, one guy.
So what's the question? Because I didn't hear the question.
There was no question. This is a fleet statement. There's one man that got dragged out the spot out of a 75+ year history of the NBA. Mind you, there's 30 teams.
I think
Charles Oakley, shut the fuck up.
But I can look at that two ways. We don't know what happened.
You know 1,000%. I'm not saying we do. What I am saying though is that happened to him and only him. And that hasn't happened to anybody else. And if it's happened to somebody else, I love to stand corrected.
Sprewell coached James Dolan out the fuck out at half court when he was on the Timberwolves when he came back to the Garden. And they made up. And Sprewell was not somebody. Yes, he needs the money and all that, but maybe Oakley needs
my
the money.
family. What did he say? What did he say, right? What was the quote? We gotta find that quote one day. What did he say? What's Free said?
I think that's a part of it because they know how to probably make money off this thing better than we all could ever find out being from the outside looking in. And Sprewell and these dudes, that's a check at the end of the day. He wrote a book. His book was, I read Charles Oakley's book. I liked it.
I have
some of it, but it was mostly Michael and me. It was mostly that, and they took out a lot. I seen Frank Isola. Shout out to me and my brother. We seen Frank Isola at the Barclays Center. And I asked him, I just read your book. It was mostly Michael Jordan and Oakley though. Like, what's up with that? He's like, yeah, we had to take a lot of stuff out. Is that in the third? You know, with Michael Jordan's gonna get more publicity. I'm like, yeah, but I'd rather have read more about Oakley and his more so in depth with his journey and whatever. So there were a lot of things that he had to take out of that book. And he seems to be a straight shooter. And maybe that's part of his problem here. It's like you got to filter some of these thoughts. Maybe that's why you can't sit down with Dolan, because you just saying like maybe you mean to get this done and negotiate something with him, but just so you got all these thoughts that probably drive you so crazy, you bound to just say some foul shit about Dolan in front of his face. He's gonna be like, yo, I thought we were here for an apology or here to just settle this shit, man. Like, what you bringing all that old shit up for? Nobody cares. Go sit down and enjoy the game, Charles.
Bro, Dolan is so nasty, but he's smearing it in his face now because now Tim Thomas is showing up. Chris Dudley, Kurt Thomas, Raymond Felton. Like, love all the guys I just named, but those are not like Knick legends. Those are fan favorites. You feel what I'm saying? It's a little different. Those are fan favorites, and he's bringing all these niggas back. All these stars. Marbury is running around on the sidelines.
Hold on. That's why he's mad. That's why he's mad, because he sees Marbury and Starks going crazy out of bounds. Like, you see them on camera. No, we don't see that at any game anywhere.
Nowhere.
He's probably seen him like, yo, hold on, they're having fun over there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Larry Johnson, Marcus Camby, Spree. Obviously, Allen Houston is still a part of the organization. But there's so many guys. Like I said, I was laughing my ass. JR.
Yo, why would John Smith write this brief newspaper article on February 8th, 2017? Oakley intended to see a Knicks game at MSG, but it was not to be. Instead, he was ejected and arrested.
Big shout out to John Smith.
Hold on, what? I'm sorry, you rat bastard, bitch. Oakley probably.
That nigga off is stupid.
Yo. Did he King's Speech? Because I thought it was on Northern Boulevard, but I think it's on the Jamaica side.
Nah, it's in Queens.
I know it's in Queens, but I don't know if it's because there's a Kia in by like Northern Boulevard by the Auto World, and there's another one I think that's John Starks thing is in Jamaica. But King's Speech might be breaking an exclusive, at least to my ears or to my eyes.
The last part of that statement is news to me.
If it is, because he's had that forever is what I'm saying. So for him to say funded by Dolan is hilarious.
It's hilarious.
Nah. Maybe he means because he brings him to the game and he pays him to be like a Knick representative.
But this But this is what I'm saying, right?
Right.
All of these guys are popping up. All of these guys are popping up. I seen Amari Stoudemire, right? I see all of these. Obviously, Bernard King is always there, right? All of these guys. Kurt Thomas and Chris Dudley was at the game the other night.
Well, Dudley, I him and Dolan are both Trump guys, so that's hilarious.
Fabian. I just haven't seen Dudley ever.
I like mentioning miscellaneous facts.
That's clear. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Our cohort understands that. Your illustrious panel understands that. Carry on.
Nothing to bite on. I'm not pausing nothing. I'm 42. Oakley was asked to leave the game because of his disruptive behavior. He was cursing at Dolan because the Knicks had their worst season and were 31-51 and the 12th in the East. I mean, that is true. He did show up when we was trash, right?
I mean, he did. That was the clip. I think that was the Clipper game. We were playing the Clippers, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
A drunk Oakley cursed at Dolan. He needs to apologize to MSG and Dolan. Oh, okay. Is that what happened? I don't know. Yeah. King, I was fine with that ring and give him the good ring energy. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's about J.R. Smith.
Yeah,
rubbing on like J.R. Smith. He was a Knicks for 2 seconds. These guys are all showing up because it's a party over here. There's nothing like New York. I'm glad to see.
J.R. had his best pro year as a Knick.
A pro. I was just happy to see J.R. Smith still be J.R. Smith because you know how we get a player and they don't do what they've been doing.
Oh, and he came in and did not. He came from. You remember how it went? He came from China. He was in China, and we went and got him.
Oh, right. I heard the story when he was on Carmelo shit.
He was in China.
Right. And he called them. He was gonna go to LA with Kobe. Called them, and they were all courting him. But just to see him go to the Garden with the Knicks jersey on, and he had caught the alley-oop 360 dunks. The fucking windmills, the double pumps, because J.R. Smith has some of the best dunks of all time.
In-game dunks, yeah, for sure.
Bananas, yeah, bananas. So,
but even that, J.R. being there, J.R.'s walking into the Garden putting spliffs out. I don't know if you see the walking. He's smoking bud, dapping niggas up, dropping spliffs, and just walking in, blowing the air, blowing the smoke out before he walks in. So now he smells like straight bud as he walks into the Garden. Like, what's up, fellas? I'm here.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me, James. He is from Jersey. I know his brother's trying to make it to the league too. His brother's bugged out. His brother's bugged out.
Who, Chris Smith?
Yes, I could tell his brother's bugged out. I don't need to hear any stories. I just stereotype people. You look crazy.
We'll talk offline. I always have a story. We'll talk offline.
What a surprise!
Big Flea, the biggest, y'all.
And of course, this was, I want to say Knicks Rehab, but I didn't have the glasses on.
Knicks Rehab.
Tonight we'll be back. The game is on in an hour, guys. Thank you for doing this with me. Damn, the 2 hours went by quick as hell. Celebrity Road like 45 deep with A-listers. Alumni Road got Chris Duhon on it. And Oak sitting in a padded room in Cleveland Heights, Ohio. He mad.
In a padded room is crazy.
Everybody tap into King's Speeches live. He's streaming live. He's been doing this thing. I ain't been able to catch shit, King's Speech. I try to work, but I see a couple of videos I've been on, leaving some comments. I see you do a podcast with somebody, a group of people. I don't know who it was, but it was cool to have an intro. That shit was ill. To see King's Speech involved in the intro was hilarious. I'll be streaming with 93Z. Okay, good to see Zach.
I'm gonna tap in. I seen go ahead. I think you said I seen Zach in the comments. Big shout out to Zach, man. Ain't seen Zach in a while.
I think he said in the middle of this podcast. What was it called?
The Truth in the Middle.
The Truth is in the Middle podcast. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I haven't seen Zach in a while. Big shout out to Zach.
Yeah, y'all check that out. But King's Speech, you're gonna go stream in a put the time in there, King's Speech. Come on, man. You got to give people an appointment. When you go say I'm going to the dentist, he makes an appointment with you. He or she makes an appointment with you. You show up. Give people an appointment time in the comments, man. Get your act together.
King Speech, don't let him even talk to you like that. I don't let him talk to me like that.
Yes,
don't
the
let him
fuck I
talk.
do. Don't let him gas you up. He comes in here late all the time, be like, thanks for coming in late again, Flea. What a shocker. Those are my little snides. Those are my little sassy comments to get him to come on time. Thank you, King Speech. 8 p.m. Oh, you're doing the watch party. Okay, got you. 8 p.m. watch party, King Speech channel. Click on his joint. King Speech knows the game. He's been on here for a while. And he listened to the kid, to the guy. You know? Fabian perspective.
For the record, y'all, he does not talk to me like that offline. He does. He does.
I get mad to everybody.
He does.
Right. I guess 10:30.
Yeah, we'll be locked in, and our demeanor and our appearance will let you know how we feel about tonight's outcome.
New York on Delance is giving you a bunch of nicknames. Flea O'Clock.
New York Delance, that's my guy. I rock with him. Flea MX.
Of course, that's your guy. Yeah, he's your guy because he gives you nicknames.
That's hate. That's hate.
I'm always gonna hate.
Yeah, that's hate.
As King Speech said, do not listen to Reggie Miller and Stan Van Gundy. Listen to King Speech on his channel for his watch party. Should be at 10:30. Flea, I should warn you, I have off tomorrow, so I will drag your ass to the wee hours. And anybody else, he hates that shit. Like, would you gotta go to work tomorrow?
Yo, he knows me. This brother, before we got off, said, Flea, I don't have work tomorrow. 2-hour pod tonight, y'all. See y'all tonight. 2 hours.
Get ready. I might throw the link in there, man. Go crazy. Yo, you know what? It depends.
2 hours tonight, y'all.
Wait, it depends, because if the season is wrapped up, we're going crazy. And depending on how this game is over, guys, depending on what we talked about earlier, is Brunson going to give that effort that we've been looking for? Is Cat going to give that effort that we've been looking for? Is Tibbs' punk monkey ass going to keep being consistent with the rotation? Tune in. Same bad time, same bad channel. That's Flea O'Clock after the game. It's been dub. It's about to be a dub for them Pacers.
Yeah, get them niggas the fuck out of here. We getting them
Bum
out of
assholes. Post game, Knicks Rehab. Tune in, tap in. Let's go, y'all. AllBall TV. They scared, but I'm not. They don't like comentario.
Y suscribe.